Hi guys, welcome to new project video and which is called a emotion based music recommender. So what happened in this was the preferred language and the singer name is collected and then computer starts predicting the emotion of the user. Once user click on recommend me song, it is going to open a new YouTube link which is going to have all the songs related to that emotion. User is allowed to add as many emotions the user want to, but for now I have added sad, angry, neutral, happy and surprised emotion, also the rock emotion. Once again, user click on recommend me songs and the new window is going to open based on the emotion currently the user having. In this video, you are going to learn how to create this project from scratch, but also we are going to use the same code which we have coded in the previous project, which was live emoji. So how's this project? I hope you are also excited like me to code this and make this project, and let's quickly dive into it how to code this project. Let's see how we can code that. Now for coding this, we first have to create a mindset of how can we detect the emotion, right? Because that's the main logic of it. So for understanding, remember previously we have already created a project which was live emoji prediction, and this is the one I'm talking of. I have already created a series of video on this. Actually, we can use this same code to create a model which can detect the emotion, different emotion, let's say happy, sad, angry, surprised, or so on, whatever you want to, because that's exactly the same, I guess, like live emoji, that's exactly the same. We just want to detect the emotion, so we can use this same code. I have already created two videos for this explanation part, for the data collection and training and the inference part. I will leave the link for the explanation of this in down description, because I don't want to repeat myself again, spending 30 to 40 minutes explaining the same code which I have already done. So we are going to use this same code for that. Don't worry, if wherever needed I will explain you which is more specific to this project, but I'm going to use this code for creating our model of emotion detection. You'll see how we do that. So let's come in over here, let's download the code, or I'll just copy this link to git clone. You can actually download the zip file also. I will leave the link to this code also, but I will create a separate repository which is totally devoted to the emotion based music, right? So the first goal is to create a model which can detect our emotion, and after that we are just going to deploy it on our web app. So let's create a blank folder so that we can have a nice track. I'll just call it emotion music. I'll just open this, and in that I'll open the terminal and I'll say git clone, and I'll paste that link which I have copied from over here, this link. You can actually download the zip file also and extract it somewhere you wanted to. So you see that we got this live emoji folder, and this is the code which I was telling you we are not required this readme. So for the data collection, I have already explained everything, right? I don't want to repeat myself. So data collection, going to collect the data. For example, I want to collect for happy, sad, angry, surprised. Like I'll just work for now I'll work for just 4 emotions, but you can do for whatever you want to. Just stay with the video. Then after that we'll run the data training script to train on that data, and actually we are not required to run the inference, but we will run to check that if everything is running fine or not. And after that, when we run the data training part, it is going to give us a model.h5 which we are going to use it for creating our web app. I hope it is clear. So let's open the terminal in the same directory in order to run these scripts. To run the first script, which is data collection, we just have to say python data collection and hit tab, data collection.py, and I hit enter. It will ask you to enter the name of data. So first I want to collect for happy. So I would recommend you try just using the different positions and different face smiles for this to have a better model. Now let's run this once again for sad emotion. Okay, sad is done. Now let's do for angry. Now let's finally do for surprise. Okay, now I'll do for neutral because we want to detect that also, neutral. And finally I want to do for rock also, rock, RO. Okay, that's enough, I would say. Now we will run the data training parts. For that we'll say python training data training.py, hit enter, and it is going to automatically train on the data which we have recently collected. Again, if you want to know how to do this, you can just head to these videos. These are 2 videos for data collection and training and inference. Till then, let's see if it is done or not. Alright, so the training part is completed. Now let's run the inference to check if everything is working fine or not. So I'll hit inference.py and new window will going to pop up. Okay, and I will give different emotion. Let's say happy, now sad, now surprise, and now let's give angry. Yeah, it's working fine for our use case. Now, as I said, we are going to use the model.h5 which is given to us and labels.mpy. Let's copy and paste it to its parent directory over here. Now let's create our main file, which is, we are going to call it music.py, and this is going to be our main web app. We are going to code everything in it. So let's open with whatever text editor you prefer to use. So over here I have opened, and over here remember I have created just second last video. I created a video for accessing the webcam in the website by using streamlit-webrtc and detecting the face from it. If you don't remember, I'll show you. Okay, so I'm talking of this video, you see, and we are going to use the same code for this also, but I'm going to code it live in front of you. I'm not going to copy the code from this because there are some things I want to explain separately. So actually I would recommend you to go through this because this is very basic part, detecting the face using streamlit-webrtc. So for this, of course, we need a library for that, which we'll say pip install streamlit-webrtc, and we are going to use this for the purpose of this. And also we are going to use streamlit, so you just have to say pip install streamlit. That's it. I would say that's enough for our main file. Now let's open back our text editor, and first of all we will write our basic UI code. So for that we are going to use streamlit, import streamlit as st. Again, I have created very basic video for using the streamlit for iris detection, deploying the model using the streamlit. You can access that also if you want to learn it from basic. Now I will be having a form for inserting the language and then inserting the favorite singer name, and then there will be a button for that. So we'll just say language will be equals to st.text input, and again obviously the label will be language. Similarly we will do for the singer, and it will be stored in singer variable. And as I said, there will be a button, so I'll just call this button is equals to st.button, and I would say recommend me song. That's it. Now to run this just have to open the terminal in the same directory, which is this directory. Let's open the terminal. Let me zoom this a little bit, and to run this you have to say streamlit run music.py. Once you hit enter, new tab will going to open, and you have the UI in front of you. So we can say language will be Punjabi and the singer will be Sidhu Moosewala. And if I just do this and hit enter and I say recommend me song, I want to open YouTube and recommend me song based on my emotion. So obviously first we want, when the button is pressed, we want something like a window which should pop up in over here, and it should predict my emotion, or when I enter the values in these 2 fields, I want new window to come in over here and detect my emotion. And that is where we are going to make the use of streamlit-webrtc. So I'll just open from streamlit-webrtc import webrtc streamer. Now as I said, when these 2 values are filled, I want to open this webrtc streamer. So it's so easy. I just say if language has some value in it and singer has some value in it, these are 2 variables, strings, right? If language has some value in it, singer has some value in it, I want to open webrtc streamer. That's it. Remember, we have to give the key also, so I'll just give key equals to key, whatever you can give, whatever you want to. Now let's test this one more time. To run this, open the terminal, run streamlit run music.py, and the tab is opened, and I'll refresh this page. So I will give language to something Punjabi and singer to Sidhu. When I hit enter to apply, a new window will going to open, and I have to click on start button to detect my emotion, but I don't want that. So there is argument for that, desired playing state, and I can give this true to automatically detect my emotion when these 2 values are filled. So I'll refresh this page once again, and automatically when I hit fill these 2 fields, camera will going to open. So I'll hit Punjabi and Sidhu, I hit enter, and you see that automatically new window going to pop up and it is going to detect my emotion. So that is what I was interested in. And now the new part is using the remember in the previous video when we were talking of the basics of WebRTC streamer, we can actually access all of these frames which are going through WebRTC streamer, and we can process those frames by using the video processor factory. And we can create like a class for that, emotion. I can call this emotion processor, and I can copy this and I can create a class with the same name, emotion processor. I'll say class emotion processor, and in that I have to define a function for this which is called receive, and it gets two arguments, self of course, and the frame. I will call this frm, and this is the frame, and it is something like this. So when I call this WebRTC streamer, it just have the access to all the frames coming from the webcam, and it goes through this function over here, receive function, and we can exploit this functionality to process each and every frame, and we can deploy our model over here to detect emotion based on the frame, right? Very easy and straightforward. But this particular frm is not, it is not basically array format, so we have to convert this to array. So I can say frame is equals to frm to nd array, and we can give the format also. Format, of course, opencv works with bgr format, so we can give format to bgr24. That's it. I have already explained this so many times. And now we want to return this processed frame because we are going to work with frm, and we want to return the processed frame. This is a numpy array. We want to convert it to AV format. So we say we have imported the AV library module from there, and we can say av.videoframe.toND array, and we can pass this frame, and then again the format is bgr24. Now if I hit save and run this, nothing is going to happen. Let's actually try this if everything is working fine. Again, run streamlit run webrtc, streamlit run music.py, a new tab will going to open, and I will give some random value this time to singer and language, and I hit enter. Okay, we got an error. I'll mute this. It says av.videoframe. There is something wrong in it. Actually, obviously it's not to nd array, it's from nd array. I'll just save this and run this once again and see if we get any error or not. And then after all, we will going to run the main functionality. That's just matter of calling few lines of code once again. I'll just hit language and I'll give singer name, and I hit enter. A new window should open. I'll mute this, and this time we got no error. We are good to go. Let's stop this. Okay, so over here now we are going to go back to live emoji, the code remember we copied from our previous project. I'll open this inference.py, and we are going to use the most of the code from over here. I'll just use these libraries very quickly over there also because we need them. We are going to use the load model to load our model. We are going to use mediapipe to detect landmarks of our face and hand. We are going to use numpy. We are going to use cv2 for drawing and different functionalities. So over here, first we are going to load our model and label file. Again, I have already told what is label and model. I'll just paste this over here, and other than this, we obviously need these files, these lines of code also. We are using this holistic to detect holistic from our body, and drawing to draw the landmarks on the frame. Very simple. And we don't need this video capture line, and we don't need this also. We need from this line of code from 26 up to making the prediction. Actually, we will use this put text also, and we are going to use these lines also to draw the landmarks on our face and hand. So where we are going to paste this. Obviously, we are receiving the frame over here. We are going to use these lines to paste our code over here. So I'll just paste this, and there must be an indentation error. Let's hit tab one time, and for this one more tab. That's it. It should work. One thing I would like to change is, okay, so we are just naming the frm over here, but we have the frame over here, right? So I'll just convert this to frame, and we are going to convert the nd array to frm, and this will be frame, and for the returning we are going to use frm. Yeah, that's it. Anything else we are missing? Now let's see the code. So we are first flipping the frame, and then we are using the hollies to detect the different landmarks of our face and hand on our body, and we get it in result. And if result got something in it, we are going to store it in called LST. So we are going to require a LST list over here. So we'll create LST over here, nothing too complex going on. So we are just iterating in the result and storing everything in LST. And similarly, we are iterating in left hand landmarks, we are storing in LST. Similarly, we are iterating in right hand landmarks, we are storing in LST. And we are storing 0 if there is not left hand in the frame or right hand in the frame. That's it. Very simple and straightforward code going on. Again, I have already explained in very detail, so you can head to that if you want the better explanation over there. Now we converted the LST to NumPy array, and then we use the model.predict to predict on LST, and np.argmax, the max prediction will get over here, and we are passing it through the label so that we can get the string or the emotion, and we are saving it in pred variable, and we are printing over here, and we are saying cv2.put text, and we are drawing the landmarks. Everything looks fine until over here. Let's try to run this, and if everything is going on right, we should have the emotion on the frame. I'll just have this sidewise. Okay, so it is running. Now let's give some random language and random singer name, hit enter to apply. I'll mute this, and we are actually having it's very great. So I'll say surprise, happy, sad, angry. Yeah, it is working fine. So I can just stop this running by hitting Ctrl+C. So yes, you can hit Ctrl+C to stop this ongoing script, and we can go back to our Sublime. Now we are having the emotion in the pred variable, right? Now what we want to do when the button is pressed over here, just grab all of your attention over here, the main part is going on. So we have the button, right? When we press the button, we want to have this pred or prediction or the emotion. We want to open the YouTube, and we want to automatically search for for that particular language, for that particular singer, and for that particular emotion. We want to do that. So how to do that? First of all, now you see in Streamlit, when the button is pressed, it is going to refresh all the script. So which means that this prediction variable will going to be erased, or obviously we can't directly access this pred variable in down code. So even if I say emotion, we'll just initially give this empty string over there, and even if I say emotion is equals to prediction, so when I hit this button, what Streamlit do? It refresh all the script. So when it refresh all the script, obviously the emotion will going to reset back to this normal string, which is empty string, and we are not going to access that particular emotion. So that's a problem over there. One solution I got was using the session state, but I don't know, I was not able to implement it over here. So one solution I got is just saving this prediction locally in the file over here, saving the prediction over here, and then when we are required, we can load that prediction. So we can use NumPy to save the prediction or that particular emotion. So I'll just get rid of this from over here. I can say np.save, and the file name I can give a more obvious one, emotion.npy, and array will going to be np.array. I'll just store it in array format, and it will be prediction. So what happens when the particular emotion is predicted, it will going to be saved in over here, and when I require it, I can load it over here. So I can just say np.load that emotion.npy. Now this time, even if the script refreshes, the file should be already saved in over here by using the np.save. But what would happen if initially it is not over there? Because obviously when you run it for the first time, it will not be there. So we can say try, and in the except we can say emotion is equals to empty string, and after that every time it will going to load that emotion. But one thing more over here I want to code. If the button is pressed, obviously first the emotion should have something, right? So what I could do, if not emotion, meaning if emotion has nothing in it, I will get inside this, and there is a st.warning. I can show the warning on the screen that please let me capture your emotion first. I can show this warning, else if there is something in the frame or in the emotion variable, meaning if the emotion is detected, I want to open a web browser tab, and that should be a YouTube tab, and that should have the all the recommended songs based on that emotion and language and singer. So for that we will require to import another module which is called web browser, and in that web browser I can say web browser.open, and in this I can pass the URL. Now what the URL should look like, so if I get into youtube.com, and in this if I say Punjabi sad song Sidhu, and I hit enter, then you see this URL over here. I'll just copy this whole URL and I can paste it over here. I can just zoom out a little bit. So you see that this is the URL, and in the search query is equals to that all the keywords you put over there. So we can use this F, we can put the F over here, and we can pass the language which is called lang, and this is going to be my emotion, and the song will be just the keyword. I'll just leave it over there, and I can pass the singer over here, singer. That's it. It should work, I guess. Actually, let's try this and see if everything is working fine or not. So I'll just say streamlit-run-music.py. We can just solve this if anything gets wrong. There we are with our brand new browser tab. I can just give the language to Punjabi, and the singer this time I'll give Amrinder, and I hit enter, and it will going to capture my emotion. I'll just say sad song, I'll just say happy song. I want to listen happy song, so I'll have a happy emotion on my face, and I hit on the button recommend me song, and new window is opened which is a YouTube window, and we got Punjabi happy song Amrinder Gill. There is some problem over here. I'll just stop this script right over here and close this tab. Actually, obviously there should be this problem. Okay, so obviously the emotion is going to be a array. I want to access the 0th element, and now that should be solved. And actually everything is working fine up till over here. I want to talk about another situation or problem. I'll just show it to you directly. So once again I will open the terminal in the same directory, and to run this obviously I'll just say streamlit-run-music.py, and new window should open. That's it. I'll give language to this time Punjabi and singer to Amrinder, and I hit enter to apply, and I want angry songs. I'll hit recommend me songs with having the angry emotion on my face, and there we are. So Punjabi angry song Amrinder Gill. Yeah, that's it. We are getting the recommendations over here, but the thing I want to talk about, you see that in the background the camera is still running, right? That is again a functionality. If you want to leave it up to over here, you can just leave it, but I just want when I have the emotion on my face and I hit recommend me songs, and when the browser window is opened, I want this camera to be stopped, and once again when I hit recommend me songs, new browser window should be opened, and again it should capture my emotion. I want the camera to be stopped, and this script should stop running in the background when the new tab is opened. I hope you get the problem I'm talking of. So what can we really do? So you see that the main thing going on over here, what I want is to stop this string. After all, what I want is to having the false from these statements. How can we have that? One thing is to have this language or one of the singer or one of this text input field empty, and obviously when the script refreshes, when the button is pressed, the script is going to refresh, and obviously it's not going to get in over here. But sadly it is not that easy to have that functionality. This is not still available by Streamlit. Another thing we can use is session state, st.session state. So what's that? Actually, what can we do? When the browser window is open, we can have a session state and we can set it to true, and over here we can check if the session state is not true, then open this web browser, otherwise open the don't open this. So over here we can come in over here to use the session state. It is like having a dictionary. So we can say if, we can say run, we can call this run. If run not in st.session state, we can say st.session state. As I said, it is like a dictionary, so I can just initialize it like this. Key will be run and I can set it as false. Now I have created a session state, or it's like a variable, global variable, which is not going to refresh if the script refreshes. That's it, so simple. So what I say, I have created a session state or a variable with the name of run, and I have set it to false. Now I'll just copy this and I come in over here. If the language and the singer has some value in it, and st.session_state with the name of run is not equal to false, or initially I'll set it to true because initially I want to run it. So initially it is equal to true. So when I hit some value in the language, in the singer, and this is initially true, so initially the WebRTC streamer will going to open, and after I open the browser window, I want to set it to false, and over here if the emotion is nothing, I can set it back to true. Also we can just copy this and go to the top, and we can use this to make the decision whether we should set it to true or false. I just remove this web browser because I don't want to open it over here. I will remove the st.warning. I'll just hit shift plus tab to make it backward. If the emotion is nothing, obviously just try to imagine if the emotion is not detected. I want to run the WebRTC streamer to detect my emotion, right? So I'll just set it to true because I want to run it. If there is something in the emotion, I will just set run equals to false. Now if I run this script once again, if everything is fine, it should run perfectly fine. New tab is opened. I'll give language to Punjabi and singer name this time Karan Aujla. I'll hit enter. It should I'll hit recommend me songs. Okay, I think actually it is accessing the previous emotion.npy. That's the problem. Okay, let's leave this, let's ignore this for a moment, and if everything is fine, once again if I hit recommend me song, there is something wrong going on. Wait, let me just figure it out. Okay, so what can we do to solve this is we can when the browser window is open, we can reset this emotion.npy with a empty string. So if we have opened the browser window, we will reset the emotion. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll just rerun this, and again new window will going to open, and I'll give language to Punjabi and singer to Karan, and I hit enter. Recommend me songs. Okay, once again it is going to open, and I hit once again recommend me song, and it says that please let me capture your emotion, and it is open. Okay, so now I want to listen angry song, so I have it recommend me songs, and luckily the functionality is fine. The window has stopped tracking our frames or making the predictions in the background. Okay, so we got the songs by Karan Aujla, and once again if I hit recommend me songs, it will say something like, okay, so when I hit recommend me songs, once again it is going to open the camera. I'll just stop the mute this, and once again it is going to open the camera, and once again if I hit recommend me songs, then it is going to open the YouTube tab, new YouTube tab in the same browser window. That's the main functionality I wanted to code in this video, and I guess that's enough for having a perfect fine emotion based music prediction code, and that is obviously a web app going in over here. I would say this is enough for this video. Once again, if you want the explanation part of this emotion or I would say live emoji prediction, so you can have the head to those videos which I have already created for the explanation part. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.